Hazard Zone was presented to us as a battle royale that had the main target of escaping. This was our third mode that was replacing the campaign, and it was going to be advertised as being supported for a very, very long time. The devs were very excited about this mode, and I was pretty excited to start playing it. As we know, it's been a year since the game came out. Hazard Zone has been discontinued since Season 1, before any new content came out, and it takes a very, very long time if you want a chance to get into a Hazard Zone game. Now with Call of Duty coming out with their DMZ mode, which also has the element of escape that's quite popular in the new Battle Royales, we can look back at why did Hazard Zone fail. Now, even just looking at DMZ, when you see the objectives and the factions you can join, tell how high of a different level of content there is. I'm not saying that DMZ is going to be perfect, but I'm saying a lot more content and detail this game. When we look at Hazard Zone, they had a CSGO element with buying weapons before every single game, and that was it. Bought your weapons, your tacticals. They had no sort of long-term progression, which I feel like for these modes is really, really important. Now, I had the idea, and I made videos on it much earlier when Hazard Zone just came out, of having more long-term progression. So, say if you save up to 10,000 or 100,000 coins, you could get 5% more health, or you get skin, get a new type of weapon. They didn't have any of that. They just had pay 300 for a sniper, get some armor, get in there and fight. But there was no rewards for playing. A lot of once you had enough money, you could do whatever the hell you wanted. They also had one objective. They had one main objective, which was to get the dishes out of the satellites. That was it, nothing else. And just looking at DMZ, there's like 50 different objectives that you can get done in the round. That is a big problem because it's not replayable for a certain amount. Bored. That doesn't help that the game was a failure overall launch, but with the only objective being get these data drives and get the hell out of here, it wasn't really anything captivating or unique, creative or exciting, because maybe in the first few games it was exciting. I had fun playing the first game. After that, nothing. And we really did see, I had a whole video where I waited over an hour just to find one game, and I didn't even get in. I had to give up because it's so long. Not a sign of a healthy mode, which is why basically instantly got cancelled, stopped working on it, stopped developing, which is a bit of a shame because I do feel like if they actually put more time into it, it would work. But it also provided an excuse not to work on a campaign. They just launched this, they promised that, oh well, it's 3 modes, we have more time to work on multiplayer, and there was no difference. It's just strange because they put little to no effort. Now it does go back to some stories I was saying last year that Battlefield was actually originally meant to be a battle royale free-to-play shooter, but when Apex Legends came out and did so well, EA didn't want another battle royale. Apex Legends was not meant to be a success by any accounts. They soft launched it, didn't say anything about it, and it did really well. If you're at EA and trying to look at the market, you don't want to steal players from your own games, you want to still play different genres. So that's how Battlefield 2042 came into Evolution. Not an exciting story like, oh, we were determined to get a new Battlefield out, excited, working on it for a long time. No, they basically had 18 months to work on that game. That's pre-production, going through all that, and then in this in. And they kept in a lot of the work that they had from the Battle Royale, which Hazard Zone is probably the edited version of their Battle Royale, their idea that they had. This is why we've seen stuff like the Specialist system, because that was already created ready for the Battle Royale, and that really just takes away the core of what Battlefield is. Now, Hazard Zone had some potential. It's not like it had zero potential. It had potential. A creative new game. I feel like what they really needed to do with Hazard Zone, if they wanted it to succeed, which they obviously did not care that much about, they just need to get 3 modes because that's standard AAA shooters, was for them to have it separate from the game. Have Hazard Zone free to play, but that would also mean they'd have to put in a lot more work into that mode because it was so underbaked. You're not playing it if it's free to play. Like I said, long-term progression is very important in this type of game where escaping is the main objective. You can't just get 10,000 coins and then you're good ever and you don't need to try anything. Long-term progression is key. This is DICE's second attempt at a Battle Royale, and they're very different. Firestorm was very, very different. I feel like Firestorm had a lot of potential, but it also suffered from being stuck behind a paywall, while It was very developed and it looked amazing. It looked really great game. It looked so much better than Battlefield 2042's as its own. Having that paywall and having the game already have a lot of not the best sales affected it deeply, did not allow for the game to continue. And it also was probably not by help having developers that came in, Oliver's Criterion came in, they worked on that mode exclusively, and then they were done. They had like a 1-year contract to work on that, and then they were done. They weren't doing any more updates to that, so it got dropped onto DICE. That mode was good. That was good if you compare it. Hazard's just not ready. Was not ready. Even though we were advertised as multiplayer, meaning having no campaign allowed them just to continue working on multiplayer, having more content. We did not get that, and they still wanted a campaign-like mode just without the campaign effort. Is what Hazard's exactly has become. It became one-off mode, never be developed for again, sits there in a vault, no one is playing it, and you can game. Now, if you can find the game, congratulations, because I couldn't. I don't want to sit through another hour of looking for the game. For me, I cannot find the game. I cannot get new recordings. I don't even think I have any recordings. I probably have to borrow mine. Someone, I hope copyright strike me, because it's just how bad it is. It's just a dead mode, dead in the ground. No existence, no life for that mode, and it's a shame because I feel like if they moved their resources into something they were more passionate about, we would have actually gotten more work. But they were clearly not passionate about Hazard Zone, and maybe there were a few. There's not enough that didn't see any passion. They didn't persist to try and make it better like all the other games because they knew it was a failure. Main reasons why Battlefield has its own failure: lack of depth. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week, and peace.